Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, we have the House Divided campaign event. Thank you Pratly from 9th Corps for broadcasting this event. We have two great maps for you. The first one being Hatch's Attack, followed up by the Rivers Crossing, a map we don't see too often, but one that I like to watch a lot because it's a lot of people charging across a very tight area. It's great. Thank you to our YouTube members for the support. If you'd like to support, go beneath the video, hit the join button to see all the perks. Our teams for today, on the Confederacy, we have Pickett's Brigade, 12th Virginia, 11th Mississippi, Colquitt's Brigade, 83rd Pennsylvania, the Old Guard, 20th New York, 42nd Pennsylvania, and the Hamptons Legion, whereas on the Union side, we have Corn Brigade, 17th South Carolina, Irish Volunteer Brigade, 9th Corps, 79th New York Highlanders, and the 17th Michigan. And with that being said, I hope you enjoy this event.
Hello everyone, Battleline Network here, reporting on the House Divided campaign event this evening. We should have a great first map tonight on Hatch's Attack. We do have the Corn Brigade playing as CSA tonight on the defense, and against them is Pickett's Brigade playing as the USA on offense. We have just the two commentators this evening, myself, Colonel Pratly from the 9th New York, and with me is Brutish.
Guys.
And Hatches is should be a really interesting match. I feel like this is one of the most on the South Mountain map set right now. I think you often see the Union get kind of held up on this fence line at the edge of the corn, and if the CSA can kind of hold them there with good cover from the woods, I think it often goes in their favor. But on the flip side, if Union breaks into the woods, I think it's a tough night for the CSA.
Yeah, if you really lose that woods angle, it's pretty tough at CSA on this map.
And right away we are seeing elements of the CSA side are peeling off to the left. Looks like part of CB is going off that way. 9th Corps pulling back into the woods to take up positions on the rocks. The rest of CB also going back into the woods. So looks like they're kind of setting up to do exactly what we just talked about. Setting up on the edge of the wood line, trying to hold up the Union on the... Union is doing what we've seen them do more recently, which is pushing straight up the far right of the corn. So it'll be interesting. A lot of the CSA is still on the left side. We'll see if they respond to this in time.
Yeah, CSA has nobody on this right side of this snake road that they usually hold on the edge of the orchard. Absolutely nobody on the right side. Oh, I see CB over here. They're on the straight road.
Yeah, they are now starting to shift across. I'm seeing more of the CSA now shifting across. Looks like they also have a scout out on the extreme right watching the corn, so he may actually see the Union coming in and let his teammates know to shift over to meet this force. Looks like they're being led this way by the 42nd PA, behind them the PB guys themselves, and then getting back into 12th VA and 83rd.
I honestly think Union really shouldn't stop on here. I think they should just spearhead straight into them. They got an extreme numbers advantage right now.
Yeah, weird to me that many of the CSA have shifted over this way. It's unusual that so many of them would be on the CSA right, the Union left, because you can see them coming the whole way there. It's very easy to shift across, in my opinion.
CSA's falling back in the woods to give up the fence line.
Yeah, here we go. 42nd reaches the fence line. Let's see what happens here. They've got CSA in front of them. They have the Corn Brigade guys of 8th Ohio right in front of them.
Sir. Yeah.
Yep, and they're doing exactly what you said, Brutish. Going straight across and getting combat here.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Group 1 is going already. Just streaming into the woods right here.
Yep, and the CSA is coming down to meet him right now. This is going to be a very big engagement, and I think it's going to favor the Union right now. There's more Union still coming on the way. They fully wiped those first two CSA groups without really giving them a chance to respond.
I think CSA is going to win this with this group coming down the road.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like it, and it looks like actually they lost initially on tickets in that charge, but it looks like they've established an advantage by the end of the charge. But that was very, very costly. Almost the entirety of both teams got wiped there. And what's going to be interesting now, the Union do have a little bit of a foothold on these very big rocks on the extreme right of the wood line. That gives them another angle to go through, but it looks like they might have lost their flags up there.
Yeah, just random people from.
No,
from
their flags actually made it out. There's 3 flags that have pulled back, and Union now immediately bum rushing. Actually, a pretty small group over to the left. It looks like they're trying to catch the CSA with their pants down. And the CSA doesn't realize they're there. Yeah, the CSA just volleyed the other direction. I don't think they know they're there. But likewise, I don't think the Union knows the CSA is right there.
Oh, just turn right. Oh, yeah, they're taking air. They're fired.
Yeah, there's only about 6 of them. If the CSA turns around and charges this group, that's going to be another group wipe.
Yeah, that's IVB hit them.
And the Union is doing the right thing here. They're trying to rush straight up to that right side again from the looks of it, but they've slowed down now, and it's going to give the CSA time to regroup here. Yeah, that was actually a pretty costly move from those Union guys in the end. If they had have stayed back in the corner, I don't think it would have been so bad, but they lost that entire group there. We can see already over half of morale state gone for both teams, which I would say is better for the Union than it is for the CSA right now.
Yeah, it's pretty dead even. I'll take that if I'm Union here.
Confederates now reformed in the woodline a little further back this time. I think that's a smarter position for them to hold at this point. Although, you know, I've seen the CSA hold a very good defense up on this snake fence that the Union are currently on, off to the right side of the corn in the orchard.
It's usually where I've seen the CSA hold here. It's pretty tough to get past the snake rail. It's such a long run to get to it that they can just fire on you probably 2 or 3 shots.
Yeah, and Union seems a little. They seem like they're shifting their plans at the moment. Half of them are retreating back away from the snake fence. Another unit is moving up towards the snake fence. We've got a lot of guys now trying to move up that open field on the left side, which, to be honest, I've never seen go well for Union. It's a really tough push up there.
But it might work out well. CSA shifted to the other side as they're moving.
Yeah, the problem is, though, that the CSA can see them coming the entire way, and it's a lot shorter of a run for them to get back across the field than it is for the Union. Union going way out here. They're exploring the edge of out of bounds, I think. Got Holcomb's Legion, I think it is, CQB over here. It looks like the whole Union team is starting to shift over left now, though. We've got another group on the edge of the cornfield here, 42nd PA. And the Confederates have just all stacked that right side waiting for him, but the Union has now all shifted off to the left. CSA's got to be pretty quick about shifting back over here.
I say Union has to hit soon to have a chance on this left side.
Yeah, the Union has slowed it down, though. They've stopped on that. The 42nd group has stopped on the fence line, and now CSA is shifting back left again. I think they're going to be set before the Union gets here. Yeah, and this other Union group in the field side has also stopped very far down the fence line. They've got a long yet to get up there, and the real advantage that the CSA have here. All uphill fighting for the Union on this map.
Almost no cover either, it's just open fields.
Got a very small group of pushers out here in the rocks. Some 79th New York guys trying to engage these Union guys. I think they're about to get killed here. 20th New York coming in to push them out of there. And here comes 42nd PA as well. They're just swamping those rocks now. And actually a lot of Confederates...
Charge.
Yeah, a lot of Confederates still not in position. Whole Union team is moving. There goes the volley. I don't know how many kills they've got.
I'm not seeing a lot of drop.
Yeah, I'm seeing almost all of them made it onto that road and volleyed there. Few casualties, 5 or 6 guys, but the majority of them made it. That CSA, that CSA group is going to get slaughtered here. They need the rest of the CSA to shift over. Oh yeah, that's a really tough one. IVB getting just absolutely mobbed there. The entire Union just hit them. That's what this reinforcement group can do. It looks like 30th Ohio is coming in to reinforce. I think it's going to be too little and too late over here.
CSA just going in piecemeal. They're not going as a team. One group's going in one by one. I think that might make them lose this challenge.
Yeah, and you can see the tickets are still pretty close, but CSA has given up this left side here completely, and they go down to engage first. And it looks like the whole CSA is now here, except for one group on the far right. But it's not going to be enough. They're totally outnumbered on this side.
Yes, I think Union has overall won this charge and have a foothold.
Yeah, and you can see on the bird's eye view, there's quite a lot of CSA guys still on the right flank, and they needed those guys over here. They've totally lost this flank now, and that's also the point area. If Union can lock down that area, even if they're not going to cap early, gives them a chance to just pre-cap and keep shooting down the CSA. Now this... Yeah, it looks like the 8th Ohio, some of 9th Corps sprinkled in with them. Looks like 8th Ohio and 1 or 2 stragglers from the 9th Corps coming up this way. CSA should arrive back here first from main spawn. It's a shorter run for them, but it depends how quick they are of main spawn. They may have stopped again. No, they're moving.
Union also has a fence line that they can defend on now, so it should be, in theory, harder for CSA to win this.
Yeah, this is interesting though, that the Union has held this very far back corner, because it gives potential for the CSA to envelop them. The CSA can get out into this field, get round their flank, and the CSA can sit on their left flank at the wood line as well. I don't know if I would have done this. I kind of feel like spreading out along the wood line to cover more area might have been a better shot here, but I don't know, hard to say. And they are getting a little bit pincered already. They've got a group on their left, a group on their right. The main force is still coming back from main spawn. By the time they get there, they might have lost this foothold. You got OG, 12, a whole mix of guys up here desperately trying to hold off this CSA push.
I think if CSA pushes soon, I think they should probably go ahead and just charge them out for their reinforcements.
Yeah, the issue is a lot of CSA stood in spawn and got their full kits instead of coming straight up, so I don't think CSA thought they had the numbers, and at this point the Union is about to arrive back in with their reinforcements, and the CSA is going to lose their chance.
I don't think the CSA know how kind of encircled they have this group. I mean, you have one group that can curl around the left, curl around the right, and go straight into the middle.
Yeah, and the CSA is gradually taking back a very slight ticket lead here with this action, because the Union is just getting shot from all angles right now. But with the rest of them coming in, I feel like the Union has missed a trick here. I think sending the rest of their team around the right flank now, they could have pincered the CSA in turn, and rather than getting themselves stuck in this small corner where they're getting shot from every angle. 42nd coming back up here on the left side. They've got a big bulk of the Union forces here. I really don't know how the Union is planning to play this though, because they are sticking themselves all in one corner that they can just be taking enfilade fire on from all directions here.
They might be thinking of a quick push out once a reinforcement in here. There's no way they're going to just sit here.
Yeah, and the other problem they're running into, their fences are starting to get shot down, and they will get shot down the more they stand here. The more fire they take, the more fences get destroyed.
Yep.
Yep, they're taking fires from every angle now. I don't think this is good for the Union at all. And you can see their tickets they are doing number on the Union tickets right now, the CSA.
We just volleyed into that was CB. They probably got about 5 to 10 kills over there.
And right now they've still got that 8th Ohio group on their right, and they've got looks like 9th Corps right in front of them, 79th IVB on their slight right, and then that 30th peeking out to hit the far right, and that's just devastating. I mean, look how much of their force they've lost already from what they brought back.
But honestly, the tickets aren't that bad in favor of Union. I mean, they're still
but they were ahead on tickets, and now they're a quarter of an hour stake behind. And yeah, here they go. They're pulling off now. Yeah, they've been forced back, and this is that's bad for the Union, because that's just, as much as anything else, that's going to waste time for them, and it's going to force them to reassess and come back up the hill again at the CSA, which is where the CSA wants them. Union looks like they're not going the whole way back, just part way back here. So it's going to be interesting. CSA has a little bit of a conundrum here. Do they try and push the issue a little bit, try and get on this fence line and pour shots down into them? Or do they just sit back, let the Union try and come up with a new plan and let the clock tick in the meantime?
I think you just use the terrain to your advantage here. Just keep shooting down on them, let them come to you, and just make them fight uphill. There's no reason
Interestingly, the Union guys look like they're again mostly heading off to the left from spawn. They're mostly heading back that way, which is heading up the middle. And this is 42nd PA. Yeah, they're heading up the middle or right. They might be looking to find a way around the flank. CSA is pushing a few guys out, but I don't know if that's intentional. One of them just got shot entirely out of line. Now what we need to see here is the CSA shadow the USA movements here. They can't afford to give the Union this right side. And right now they're being a little slower. Yeah, they're being a little slow here. The Union's going to get round their flank a little bit and start doing the exact same thing back at them, pincer them in return.
We have one group still hanging out on the left side. This is
we got who is this? 9th Corps moving up the middle. I think this is a mistake from them though. I don't think they realize they've still got guys on their right as well as on their left. They're about to get shot from both angles, I think.
I think they're going to get charged out from the right.
Yeah, they are being charged, but I actually think this is a bad move from the Union. I think 9th Corps has more numbers than they're charging them.
Yeah, that's. Oof.
So we have a pretty fierce engagement as well between 8th Ohio and I believe this is elements of 20th New York, a couple of CQB guys, multiple smaller groups kind of combining, having a firefight here with the 8th Ohio. 9th Corps still holding those rocks. Looks like they did a nice job of holding that off.
Yeah, they completely slaughtered that group on the CSA right.
Yeah, and if they went back to the fence line now, they'd be able to clear out these last. It looks like 4 guys left on this fence. A couple guys from OG.
Yeah, no flag, so.
But
nothing to worry about.
But I mean, the problem they've got now, most of the Union is now on their right flank, which is really where you don't want them to get.
I think if CSA sends a group out into the field and kind of flank into the corner, that'd be.
Yeah, I think the issue now though is that with the Union having this right side of the field, they have officially crossed the cornfield. They have a safe passage now for their reinforcements, and they're not having to run up the hill if they can spawn guys on flag. And I think they're going to find some big rock positions to hide their flags up in and just reset here.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Lots of shots coming out from the CSA. I think they're a little far away to get many casualties. I can't even, from their angle, I can't even see what they're shooting at. They're too far out. A couple of guys running away from the 20th New York and 12th VA. CSA definitely took a fair amount of a ticket lead here, though, which is definitely good for them. They are a quarter of a morale stage up, something like that.
But they did lose the entire right flank, so.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how costly it is. I think the key here for Union is they need to have that right flank, but also have a group applying pressure on the left, so that they aren't facing just an entire wall of CSA lead every time they try and come up from that right side.
This is an amazing line that the CSA has forward right here in the woods.
Yeah, we got groups of them on the big rocks, and then, wow, yeah, that's a great line. IVB stretching into CB all the way down. It's about 60, 70 guys in one line here. The Union right now is just yeah, they're shifting some guys deeper into the forest, maybe trying to get around the flank, but I think they're going to run out of space here that they're in bounds. I think they're going to run out of bounds if they go any further down the hill. Things slowed down a little bit here. It seems like the Union may be trying to reassess their options here and figure out what the best way forward is. And I think the CSA has formed a nice defensive position now. They've got CB watching down the hill so they can't get flanked on the left. Some of 9th Corps there as well. They've got IVB and the rest of CB looking towards that right flank. So they're going to get surprised. They're close enough together. They're pretty compact. I think if they come from either direction, the Union, the CSA is going to be able to shift to meet them. But look back of that, Union has shifted a lot of guys right into the path of, I think this is TNA, who is going to run right into them here.
The Union outnumbered, they should just hit them.
I don't think TNA realize how many of them have moved down that hill, and likewise, I don't think USA realizes that there's a much smaller force about 10 yards from them right now, and if they can just charge around that rock, kill them.
And I think that would even out the tickets.
Yeah, and more CSA guys coming down now. IVB now coming down. Numbers are evened out a little bit down here.
IVB's about to fire right there.
Oh, and that put them down to taking losses. Great volley by the IVB there. I actually don't see all that many dead. I see a few dead. Definitely 5 or 6 from that volley, but it was enough. It put him down. And now Union, CSA is charging out, but they're getting pincered by 42nd. Everyone is getting in this melee. I don't even know who's winning this. I think CSA is trying to kick him down to final push early, but I think that charge is going to end up being quite costly for them. This should even out the tickets a little bit. I think that 42nd group got more or less wiped by CB, but I think 30th Ohio in turn got wiped by the rest of the Union. IVB didn't get involved in that charge, really. They're still sitting here.
I think CSA is still on top of the charge.
Yeah, I think CSA did what their objective was there, which was just push out that main foothold, and now they've got this group again trapped in a corner. 20th New York, 11th MS, HL, they're all trapped in one spot, and they are on the run now from the CSA unit. And I actually think they've made more of a ticket advantage for themselves now, CSA, which is what they have to do, really, if they want to win this. Let's see, does CSA chase them down? It looks like a few of them are at least, but I don't know if they were ordered to. I just saw 2 guys run in there and no one else. And it's one of our own guys, Private Chernobyl, standing there on the other side of a rock from the entirety of the Union. And down he goes. That's 5 tickets from the CSA. That's not great for them on the defense. But I think that ended up. I wasn't sure about that. That ended up being a good charge from the CSA though. They've now removed that foothold for the Union, and I think they're just keeping the Union guessing on what to do.
I mean, they still haven't charged out this last group. I don't know if they have any flags up. Yeah, they got a couple flags up with this last group.
Yeah, but at the very least, they stopped that flanking maneuver, and I think they took more of a ticket advantage there than they had before.
Let's see where Union goes for spawn here.
Seeing the guys trickling up the center and towards the right side. The interesting thing here, though, again, if those Union spawns pushed around the left, I think they could envelop this CSA group in the middle right now, because the CSA has, again, abandoned positions on the edge of the forest and doesn't have eyes out over that way.
I mean, I even think just going through the center here, just go straight to the woods and try to do a coordinated charge.
Yeah. I mean, if they just reach just before the fence line on the edge of the woods here and charge right in with the rest of their guys on the right charging in as well, it would split the CSA's attention. I think that would be a very tough charge for the CSA to hold. And they might be doing it. No, they look like they're going back to the right. They're all trying to link back up with the USA guys, which I think is a mistake, actually, because the USA guys are really penned into a corner right now. I don't know how many losses they're taking. It doesn't look like a huge amount. They've got big rocks to cover them, so do the CSA. But even so, they don't really have a good route out of here. Yeah, we got TNA holding this furthest forward position. 9th Corps with this great sort of fortified position on top of the rocks right now. Putting fire across. You can see Union going across the top of the hill right now. Looks like they're coming down the road. They're going to towards point, kind of do what we initially said, push around the flank here.
Let's see this group on the right. Just,
yeah, 30th Ohio is ready for him though. 30th Ohio is in line waiting. Let's see how that volley is. A lot of missed shots there. Killed a fair number, but I saw a lot of shots hitting the dirt though. They rushed those shots a little bit. And Union taking the point right now? No, CSA's back on it. I guess they must have sent a small skirmish group onto point. Maybe that 42nd group was far enough up that they started capping it. But again, this is the problem that the Union have right now. The CSA has just been able to set up lines everywhere, kind of wait for the CSA to come in, for the Union to come into them, and then just blast them as they come in. And that's kind of the problem that the Union has to solve in this match. You know, because these volleys that they're exchanging right now, I don't know how aware of this they are. The CSA has far better cover than they do. I mean, this position on top of the rocks is like a fortress that the 9th Corps have. TNA also have some pretty solid rocks that are pretty tall, and they're able to get almost full cover behind those as well. So I think the Union is spending a lot of time shooting and not doing a whole ton of casualties.
Well, it's the classic have the high ground, you know? Just Union has to shoot up a hill, which is a little harder than shooting downhill.
Here goes 42nd again. They're moving out again, taking out a couple of out of lines in the corn. I think they're actually going to get caught in the back here by a volley from the 8th Ohio and 30th Ohio potentially.
Only 2 guys got up.
No, the 8th Ohio is still firing independently, and the 30th did not go after them. It looks like they're trying to reform on the right side and prevent any move forwards through the corn. But, you know, that might actually be exactly the opening Union are looking for. Nope, 42nd is pulling back. I thought that might be a really good opening for them to get into the 8th Ohio while Corps Brigade is back a little bit.
I think Union is just trying to shoot over into at least right there to try it out.
Yeah, you know, time is running short though, and they have not done a whole heap of casualties to a whole heap of damage to the CSA ticket marker. They are still on half of taking losses, and they've been there for what, 7-8 minutes now?
And they're not even facing the entire force of the CSA. You got IVB who's just kind of chilling on the back here.
And I think the problem they have right now is every casualty they're taking off the CSA is in formation. They're all so tightly packed in that the CSA is only dying in formation. There's no out of lines or skirmishing tickets coming out. It's just not a fast way to drop tickets. Nice volley from the 30th. Didn't get a ton of kills at that range, but I saw a couple bodies there, and that was just a beautifully executed volley, rippling fire down the line. Yeah, and it's true, the IVB is still very much in reserve here, on point by these big rocks. You know, the Union is facing 3/4, half the CSA force, and they're not really making any headway. If anything, I would say they're getting further behind on tickets. Looks like 42nd is getting ready to make a shift out again.
I think I heard word of Chargers in game chat.
Yeah, I'm seeing a big movement of 42nd, but are they just doing the same volley and pull as done before? 8th Ohio in front of them. Oh, they are about to waste a whole lot of shots into the corner, I think. Nope, they are shooting down into the forest. And out comes 30th Ohio. That is bad timing from the 30th. They ran out right as the 42nd volley. Oh, but that is one of the most brutal volleys I have ever seen.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. CB just killed 15, 20 guys from the 42nd in one volley. That was unbelievable. Wow, I have never seen a volley be that effective there. That was unbelievably brutal.
That's what comes with shooting downhill.
And Corn Brigade, actually the 30th Ohio, I don't think they lost many guys in return when they went out there. 42nd did get a volley off, but I'm only seeing 3 or 4 bodies out here.
I think they're ready for another volley. They're moving out.
Yeah, here they come. Let's see if they can repeat the same trick, or if 42nd's ready for them. Here they go. 42nd's running. Let's see what 30th...
OG's getting into the road as they volley.
A lot of kills jumping the fence line there. And Union is about to go breaking with CSA only just past halfway and taking losses. 16 minutes on the clock. Union has got to get aggressive here. If they don't, they are simply going to run out of time without pushing the CSA down low enough on tickets. especially on a map like this where final charges are really difficult because of that uphill climb.
I just think they're...
They
this is
just...
an attack map, you gotta attack.
Yeah, they just seem... they seem to have taken almost too much of a lesson from their early losses on the battlefield. You know, they took a couple of early hits, but you know, the one time they had real success was when the whole team just bum rushed together up that far right side for the CSA, left side for the Union, and they managed to execute a really effective charge as a whole team, and they just haven't tried it since, and I'm really not sure why.
A lot of CSA Rambos getting killed through the core going down.
Yeah, the CSA Rambos is worrying. I've seen a lot of, I think it's 79th New York running through there, and they only have 2 or 3 guys, and that's going to cost them a whole lot of tickets every time they do it. And I would say, finally, the Union has just started having an impact on the CSA tickets. I don't know, I haven't seen any major casualty drops. I think it's just the out of lines for the CSA starting to stack up.
I don't see a whole lot of dead bodies.
There goes Union, they're breaking, but CSA now down to quarter of taking losses. The Union has closed the gap a little bit. The question is, we know it's going to come at some point. When will that USA charge come? And where will they charge against? Because I think up the hill, they've already seen that there is some punishing fire coming out from Corn Brigade every time they try along the road. IVB's also up there. But by the same token, if they go down the bottom, they have to assault this very fortified rock stronghold that the Union has with 9th Corps.
40 seconds moving up to the door right now, and there's a group of Union coming from spawn in the middle.
Yeah, this might be actually the 40-second respawns from that. Yeah, it is. It's the 40. Look how many of them there are. I think these are all the 40-second respawns from those brutal Corn Brigade volleys. And yeah, they are finally going to try the flank, and I think for once the IVB have finally left their position, and I don't think they know that they're being flanked right now. They're all looking down the road.
Yeah, like this group is literally just moving them over right now.
Will one of them see? One of them just took a look. 30th Ohio is going to meet him. 30th Ohio is moving down.
Yep.
But I think they're outnumbered here. I think half of 42nd is on the other side of the field, half of 42nd is in the corn here, and that's going to be a really difficult fight for CB, unfortunately. 30th Ohio lining up. Here comes a volley.
Now they're facing the other way.
There it goes. There it goes. Shots coming off. Got a fair few kills. Not quite the same impact that they had first time. But definitely some damage there. They're getting charged from the flank. This other half of 42nd is getting onto their flank. CB is going to have their hands very full here. Oh, that was not good for 30th Ohio. IVB now shifting to kind of compensate. IVB getting position. 42nd is charging. They are charging. They're heavily outnumbered. They're retreating. Yeah, they didn't even go fully in. That's going to cost them some tickets there for sure.
I mean, if you're attackers, if you just get CSA down to breaking, I think if you just turn it into a charge fest, you can get them to the last stand in time.
And IVB could really use some cover there. They're standing out in the open field right now, being shot from 2 sides. The Union guys have some rocks for cover. I think IVB needs to get out of there and pull back to the big rocks on point. This right now, the danger here for the CSA, I would say, is that the Union, you know, the CSA is going to hit breaking soon, and the Union just does a sudden rush with 42nd and gets on point. But I think the CSA have more than enough guys here to prevent that.
Yeah, IVB's falling back there.
And it looks like this fight in the forest has really not changed a whole lot. 9th Corps still locking down this fortress, picking up a couple out of lines on their left here from PD. But the rest of the USA is just absolutely stalled here. You have HL, you have 12th BA, you have OG 83rd. Basically the entire team other than 42nd is here, facing just a wall of basically Union fortification.
And it's also down, you gotta look at that time, 11 minutes. I wonder if Union's thinking about getting a little bit more aggressive there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they will get them to breaking and then do an immediate, very swift charge on all fronts with the hope of breaking through somewhere and at least pushing the Union down. I will say again, as this happened...
30 seconds moving out on the left.
Yep, there they go. Will Corn Brigade and IVB see them and respond in time? They do have a numerical advantage between those two groups.
I think IVB might be, yep, IVB's moving out, they see him.
Yep, there's a volley coming into him. Didn't do a whole lot of damage. I think they needed to wait a second. Oh, and there's the 30th volley again. Wow. That was a lot more damage, and more of them. There were 30, 40 guys here, and there are less than 20 now. That was brutal. Less than 10 even. That's almost the entire 40-second gone in three volleys there from the looks of it.
You just charge it in the woods.
Here we go. It's all kicking off now. The Union has abandoned that fortified position. 9th Corps actually pulled back off those rocks. I think a smart play here. I think they're trying to maintain their position a little longer and slow down that Union charge, but breaking. Now's where the risk comes in for the CSA. Does the Union just bum rush straight through? And they are chasing down 9th Corps. And I think 9th Corps is going to get wiped here if the Union all goes, but they've slowed down as well.
They're holding, but you got this group on the left side moving in too.
Yeah, I don't know why the Union stopped there. If they had have chased down 9th Corps, I think they would have wiped that unit. Oh yeah, and 30th Ohio and IVB changed directions, having completely wiped the 42nd to start firing into the rest of the Union, and they're now doing a number on them as well. And look at those tickets drop. I would suspect, yeah, there's still a lot of Union back there, and they just basically threw away 2 whole groups in those charges. Let's have a look from a slightly more bird's eye view. Yeah, 42nd were completely wiped there. They've lost their flag, an entire unit wiped in you know, basically a
charge it out in the woods.
Yeah, I think this is smart at this point. They know time's in their favor. They know the Union are low on tickets. They'll pick up a lot of out of lines from the end of a charge. The one place that it is going to be costly, 9th Corps are going to get wiped in this first charge on the left side because they do not have the numbers. They need the rest of the CSA to swing down the hill onto them. And actually, perfect for them, the Union has all started shifting away from them up the hill. I don't think they realized they were being charged from downhill as well.
They're getting the CSA in the back right now up the hill. See if 9th Corps can recognize and get up there.
Yep.
I think they are.
I think 30th managed to reset their line before the Union reached them, and I think this is going to be a total wipe for Union in the woods, and this is going to get very close to final push. 9th Corps took the bottom of the hill, which is, you know, exactly opposite to what I thought would happen, but the Union moved out at just the wrong time. They would have caught 9th Corps in a very vulnerable position if they... Here's the problem now, though. The Union has now taken that corner of the cornfield and are putting off some volleys into the CSA who do not have shots because they have just finished that charge. Union about to hit final push though, and there's a lot of Rambos out in the woods. Down the hill there's still a couple. 9th Corps now shifting up the hill to finish off this last unit, and that might be enough to put them in final push. And I think the timer on this map is, what, 3-4 minutes?
It's not going to be a long time, I can tell you that. That's it. One more left.
Yeah, they managed to just about avoid final push, but a few more casualties will surely put them down. And now it's going to turn into what we've seen on this map many times before. It's going to turn into a few desperate charges over the point, and whoever wins those wins the game, because it is quite a long run back if Union wins the charge. Yeah, there we go, 3.5 minutes. Whoever wins these desperate charges over point basically wins the game, because it is a long run back for both teams. So I think if Union wins it, they will be able to hold it, you know, long enough that the CSA will not be able to make it back from main spawn. And likewise, if the CSA holds the charge, with how many Union are coming back from main spawn right now, I don't know how much time they're going to have for the second go at it. 40-second all on this fence line exchanging shots, and again I think the problem they have now, this cover is worse than the Union cover for sure. You know, the Union cover is this cover is worse than the CSA cover. The CSA cover is big rocks that give full cover, you just have to step out to shoot. The Union is on a fence line which, yes, will stop some bullets, but a whole lot of them go through, and it does bunch them up quite badly as well.
Yeah, CSA is spread out, they don't have a lot of time.
But CSA is not far from last stand. One charge would get to last stand here. The Union has to just get there in time, and their force is still back on the bottom of the hill. They have not moved out yet. there's two large units who are still returning from spawn. Some 42nd guys, 12th VA. Have a lot of guys who have been dying and are just gradually creeping back in. We've got two 8th Ohio guys around the back who are going to get killed out of line here. I mean, they might take a couple with them, but this seems very foolish with 2 minutes to go on the edge of last stand. Yep, and there they go. They don't even get 2 kills between them, and they're both dead. And the CSA now has again formed up just a massive battle line. We have 9th Corps anchoring the left, 30th Ohio in the center, TNA kind of half right, and IVB on the far right. I don't see a way for Union to push through this right now unless they go right now and get a little bit of luck in there. And if the CSA maybe has just shot and missed a volley, something like that. Here goes the start of the team. Here goes the start of the Union. And I think this group is gonna eat a lot of shots though. Maybe they're hoping on that they eat a lot of shots and the rest of the group gets in relatively unscathed, but no.
40 seconds going in.
42nd comes in. IX Corps, I would expect to see 9th Corps collapse in from their flank. Now it's just a melee on point. And it's a melee that the CSA is winning decisively right now.
Yo, it's hot.
And here comes 9th Corps collapsing into from the left flank. IVB coming in from the right flank. And that was just brutal for the USA. They have lost that first charge badly, and the CSA is doing the right thing here. They should push out, prevent more guys reaching the point, because they are going to go last stand in 10 seconds or less.
I just think you should have played a little bit more aggressively. Once you got into the woods, you should have just swung it.
No, you know, CSA is pulling back, but at this point I don't think it's going to make a difference. Those guys from main spawn are not going to make it in either way, and CSA did not hit last stand, and so they are not losing numbers. They still have almost their whole team here. And I mean, you can see from the number of flags up here how many of them survived that charge. I mean, that was a devastating defense there. And there we have it. Yeah, CB holds on, and a very good victory, and I would expect to see a lot of Union casualties here. Thoughts on the game, Brutish?
I think Union should play a little bit more aggressively once they got into the wood line, but I think a hard fought map on both sides, and just props to CSA for holding the woods.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Union had very good early momentum and just failed to capitalize on it. They got bogged down in a bad position on the left side, and then it just looked like they got a little bit trigger shy on those charges after that, and didn't really trust themselves, and that cost them. So very exciting game on map 1. It's going to be very high on casualties, I think, watching these tick up. You know, it's in the mid 400s right now. Still going though. Looks like we're going to reach probably easily 1,000 casualties if I had to guess for the Union. Yep, there it goes. Last 2 charges might get them there. Just shy of 1,000, but very high casualties for both sides. But very good stuff for the Union in the campaign, because the sides were switched tonight. Corn Brigade, of course, is playing for the Union in the campaign, whereas Pickett's Brigade is playing for the CSA in the campaign. So that's a great first map for Corn Brigade in the campaign. And we will be back shortly with the second map, which is going to be River Crossing, which will have the let's see, the 12th VA attacking against the 17th South Carolina defending. So we will be back shortly for that. And we are back here for map 2 of the night. We will be playing River Crossing. We actually have a switch of the sides from the first map. The team that was playing CSA on the first map is now defending as USA, while the other team has switched over to CSA and is on the attack again. We do have on the defense, we have I believe it is South Carolina. I just got to check exactly which unit. On the attack, I know we have 12th VA. And interestingly, we are seeing this sort of new meta of River Crossing right off the bat with, from what I saw earlier, now we have 25 CSA guys on artillery. You can see we have 1 battery up here getting their guns in position to rain down shots on the USA defensive positions. 2nd battery up at the top there on the Yet they are rolling the cannons. It's going to be a little bit of a roll. In fact, they're not rolling them. They are shooting from here straight. Of course, I think there's a few... Yes, there's a couple of cannons down here who are rolling towards the base of the railroad bridge. That shot from the USA gun, I did not see where it landed.
Yeah, that's for the road. I think USA's lining up a gun on the road.
And for context, actually, the 9th Corps played this map on Sunday last week, I believe it was, and had a really interesting game of river crossing, where... Oh, sorry, no, you know what? It was on Sunday, where actually the 9th Corps attempted to hide in John Brown's house to pop out and give a volley onto the pontoon bridge as they came over. Unfortunately, that never happened, and they tried the railroad bridge all game long, but let's see if that strategy has changed.
Giant red mist from USA Union Army.
Don't stand behind them.
Good start then. I'm sort of staying around here in the hopes of seeing a major hit from the CSA artillery, but they're going to be in position for a little while. Right here we have, back behind the buildings, we have Corps guys, we have 30th Ohio.
CSA is moving across the bridge right now.
Already, yeah, quick charge here, much faster than it was the other day. Let's see what the artillery guys have loaded. I'm wondering if they've loaded canister or shell or case even. If they can get a canister shot off down that bridge, that's going to be pretty brutal. Are the USA... Oh, instant red mist there. I would expect to see a major CSA bombardment on the Union positions here as the charge starts. Oh yeah, wow, you can see that red mist there. That was a huge hit. And a lot of the CSA is getting across the bridge and over to the left right away. 9th Corps a little slow on the uptake here. They're going to arrive just after the majority of the team, but that might actually give them a second round of shots, which might be helpful in this instance. CSA have taken this railroad bridge off on the right quickly, but it looks like they maybe don't quite have the numbers. Yeah, the rest of the charge got pretty well wiped. I don't think they have the numbers to push all the way through here.
It's what we see Sunday with so many guys on our artillery. You're just flatly just outnumbered. It doesn't matter.
But I will say they got an early ticket advantage there. Not a big one, but a slight one. You will see though there's a few Rambos crossing the bridge late here, and those are going to be 5 tickets each time, which is probably going to even out those tickets. Another one. There it goes.
I guess it's barrage time for the artillery, so let's
yeah, let's keep an eye out. I'm surprised. I'm very surprised IVB is returning to that position. I mean, you can see back here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bodies back here. It's not a ton, but it is damaging to their line each time it happens. And actually, it's 17th South Carolina from the Midwest Brigade who's pulling back here. I haven't seen IVB show up yet. I think IVB got largely wiped in that first charge. And I actually think the most damaging artillery is probably up on the hill on the south, rather than over at the Maryland Heights. I think that has a slightly tougher shot. Up on the south though, on that mountain, I mean, you just have pulverizing shots into this open area that the USA has to hold against charges.
It's not even that tough of a shot if you just know how to line it up.
No, and I'm trying to find a position here where we can see all of these arty shots. This is about as good as I can get. We'll keep an eye out on it, and hopefully we'll start seeing some major artillery hits here in short order. It's certainly kind of the way that the map is played these days.
Like IVB sitting here on the stone wall, like if you just get a shell or a case in there, it's...
Yeah, and that's the easy one to hit, because you can hit that from the other side of the bridge in both artillery locations. You can hit it from the top of the hill up at Maryland Heights. It's a pretty open position there.
So no shots yet. I'm not quite sure how long it takes to get the guns in positions on CSA already.
Yeah, and you know, I think the Union is doing a decent job of holding positions that are harder to hit. They have a lot of their force under the bridge. They have Corps Brigade under the bridge. They have the 9th Corps behind these houses, which at least shelters them from the guns at the top of the hill. And actually, I think makes it a little tricky from across the river as well, because you do have to kind of place the shot between the buildings to get to them. But yeah, yet to see another move. Where did that artillery... That was Union artillery, I believe, shooting. Haven't heard any more shots from the CSA. I'm wondering if the CSA is holding fire, waiting for the infantry to get formed up and trying to barrage right as the Union gets in position to defend. But haven't seen a move yet. Looks like the CSA may be starting to go now. They're certainly forming up at the end of the bridge.
Yeah, they're going.
Here they go. Let's keep an eye out for those artillery hits. Could be a lot of damage coming in here. CSA is slightly ahead on tickets. Let's see if they can keep this going and hopefully get a couple big artillery hits. The Union have moved out much earlier this time. On the one hand, that means they're ready for the charge. They're defending that railroad bridge opening there. Wow. But on the other hand, it means artillery. All of those shots missed. I didn't see any red miss from those shots from the top guns. What about the other guns? I haven't seen them really firing yet.
Anything, everyone on top of the wall, I didn't see anybody die.
Yeah, that was a total miss. Oh, there's a hit on the wall. Yeah, on the edge of the railroad bridge, but it did not get a lot. It was just too far to the right. I think they would have had a very big kill otherwise, and I think this is therefore going to be a little bit painful for the CSA because those artillery shots just did not have the intended effect.
CSA just had a man get to the other side of the bridge.
Yeah, they are only just starting to get across. More artillery shooting. I think that was Union artillery again. And wow, that was really, really bad for the CSA on that charge. The artillery just did not quite have the effect that they wanted. Let's see if they can get a final couple shots off before the USA gets away from them, because the USA is going to get back into cover any minute now.
Yeah, that was just a slaughter. I don't know what to say. I think I saw maybe 4 or 5 CSA guns.
That CSA gun was hitting low, I believe. I think that CSA gun hit the wall in front of them. Maybe it might have hit on top of the bridge, but by that point the Union was gone. And you know what they're doing that's smart here, the Union defenders, is they're pulling back to a slightly different position on the railroad bridge every time to prevent the CSA just zoning in on one spot on the bridge.
I mean, at what point do you just forego Artie if it just doesn't keep working?
And that's another shot that explodes just short of the cannons. It knocked down a couple, but it didn't actually kill any of the Union artillery. And you would think as well, a major thing for the CSA here is to try and knock over these 2 guns so that they're not firing.
That got a few kills.
And these CSA guns across the river have a very mistimed fuse right now. I saw that one land and explode several seconds later. So they're just not quite nailing it yet. But they are getting close. Their direction is not bad. They just need to nail the fuse timing and nail the timing on the actual shot so they catch the USA in the kill zone.
So we got IVB clumped up out here on this stone wall.
Yeah, and IVB holding true to the doctrine of Sevi. Oh, that was a direct impact. It killed a few. Not as many as it would have if they had have timed that fuse just a couple seconds earlier, and that would have exploded in the middle of them. But then we saw a shell hit the building and then explode a second later.
But you also got to think about it. Like, yeah, they get 3 or 4 kills, but everybody's standing so close together. It's all information. So
but here's the thing, though. I think that shell, it landed just past the wall. If it lands right in the wall and explodes in that wall section, that will kill every one of those Union guys in there. Which, you know, may not... Oh, here comes the CSA again. Here they go again. Let's see this barrage come in. I'm not seeing as big a CSA barrage this time. Maybe they're waiting to get the perfect shots. USA on the railroad embankment, perhaps a little slow to respond there. But they've gotten in there fine now. And again, it's pretty brutal fighting here. CSA is dropping on tickets, but so is the USA. And the CSA, I think, did a smart thing there. They went in more like 2 waves, which I think allowed the second wave to get a little closer without being so damaged. But even so, the USA has now taken a full quarter ticket advantage over them.
And like before, not a single CSA guy got to the other side of the bridge. This map is pretty freaking difficult for CSA.
And again, I'm just seeing gun shells exploding in the air. Look at these shells exploded above the river here. not quite nailing their timing. If they get that timing down, there are a lot of kills available for them there, but they have not nailed that fuse timing yet. There is a CSA still on the bridge according to the flags here. Yeah, he's standing between the railroad struts. Look at this. I can't pronounce that name, but he is between the railroad bridges and he's living dangerously. I don't think he can actually get out from between there, so I think that's the only option he has aside from casting himself into the river right now.
They're firing on him.
And more CSA artillery. Oh, that one got a couple kills, but again, it airbusted just short of the group they're actually aiming for.
There's only a couple more guys at this stone wall. There's not really anybody there anymore.
Yeah, and let's see what the USA Arty can do now, because they are getting aimed, and I think they've been a little more effective so far. They do have an easier shot, I would say. They basically just aim down the length of the railroad bridge and fire.
Yeah, they're about to fire.
Let's watch this hit and see how it does.
About to have 4 flags right next to each other.
And of course, I'm assuming that the CSA artillery will start. Oh, that just a long on the timing. It direct impacted a man who no longer exists.
He's now goo.
And of course, I'm assuming the CSA artillery will finally start nailing their shots as soon as I'm over here not looking. But you can see right now, in terms of tickets, Union does have a slight advantage, but it's not a massive one, and there is plenty of time on the clock, certainly. It's about 30 minutes, both sides about to go engaged. Union is doing the right thing, though. They're winning these engagements decisively. They're not taking too many casualties doing it. You know, right now they're getting some luck in terms of the CSA artillery not nailing their shots. If Union keep fighting like this, and the CSA are not able to zone in that artillery, it's going to be tough. Here they come again. Yep. Let's see how artillery hits here.
I will say,
right down the gun here. And
I think both teams are in good spots. I think it's pretty even right now.
Here comes the shot from Vlad. Oh, I think Vlad got killed by an artillery shell right before he shot. CSA goes down to engage. I would expect the Union to go down in this engagement as well. More hits, but again, I think it bounced. I don't think it got an explosion in the middle of the Union guys. The Union still at battle ready, not hitting engaged yet. Can they make it through this charge without going down? As long as they stay in formation, and I'm seeing a few guys charge out onto the bridge, which is a mistake. That's going to lose skirmishing tickets. And there they go. Yep, down to engaged. And it is a very, very narrow ticket lead they've got. And yeah, I agree with you, Brutish. I think both sides will be feeling good about how they're looking right now.
The CSA is already reforming on the road.
Yeah, the CSA, you know, they only really have one option here, which is to keep pushing the action and hope that sooner or later that artillery gets zoned in. If the artillery gets zeroed in and they start getting good solid hits on the Union positions, these charges are going to go a lot more smoothly for them. Right now, they are running into basically the entire USA gun, entire USA rifles that is, volleying into them as they cross a very narrow exposed point, and that's just never going to go well for them. They need a big gap in the USA line to be made before they hit. And you know... Sorry, go ahead, Brutish.
I just wonder what a full team push for CSA would look like here if these artillerymen, if these, 25, 28 guys had rifles. I wonder what this would look like.
It's more now. It's 27 guys on artillery at this point. I mean, that is a fifth of their force. There's 125 total guys, and 27 of them are on artillery.
Yeah, I mean it's almost dead even with the barrels.
And meanwhile, the Union only have 6 guys on artillery. And more shots again. They are just landing short, though. I'm seeing a lot of shells explode in the air above the river, rather than on top of the embankment and on top of the land. The Harper's Ferry citizens are certainly getting spooked. They probably aren't sleeping well, but they're also not dying.
Probably having a fun game of Monopoly.
Yep. Got Private Crawford here, sitting on the end of the bridge on his own, trying to get shots off from this position. A couple guys taking pot shots at it, but I think he's pretty well dug in there. And here comes CSA again. Another group coming in. Big charge. Here we go. Let's see if those CSA guns can hit this time. There goes the USA gun. Oh, that did some decent damage. No, not as many as I thought. They were all knocked down. None of them really died in the IVB.
Maybe he's charging in.
That shell did some decent damage on the IVB. The IVB within the wall took some heavy damage there. CB fully intact on the left. The 17th Mississippi, the 1st MN, TNA guys intact on the right. Another RD shell hitting, but not doing a ton of casualties, just doing a lot of knockdown. But I would say here...
Tickets are still even.
Yeah, the USA is losing the same amount of tickets as the CSA, and I would say the CSA has more guys in reserve this time. And I think that they are making some headway this time. They have reached the ends of the bridge on the right side at least. They're overwhelming the USA gun position right now. I don't know what happened on the USA on that one. They must have taken an arty hit or two, or maybe they just didn't quite organize in the same way. But they are right now just barely holding it, and that's good for the CSA. Actually, the CSA has 2 guys still alive on this side of the bridge on the embankment.
Who are they?
CJH from the 20th New York. Yeah, First Lieutenant. He's going down to kill the flags. Oh, but he gets killed. He gets killed before he can get them. But look at that. I think the Union is now level on tickets with the CSA.
I think CS. Yeah, I think you're right.
That was a much better job for the CSA this time. I don't know what they changed. I think they kept a whole unit back and waited until the melee was engaged and then charged them in, and I think that's why that was so much more effective.
Well, there's no point in being a giant mass. I mean, you got to squeeze into a tiny area. I mean, if you go right, you literally have what, a 2-whiff body lane to run down.
Yeah, you know what surprises me these days is it always used to be a part of the strategy to try and sneak a group across the pontoon bridge while the railroad bridge was being charged. And I think they'd have some success with that. There's no one from the Union ready for the pontoon bridge right now. Of course, they can move there pretty quickly, but if they're already shifting up to take the railroad bridge positions, could the CSA sneak a group across the pontoon bridge? That was a nice hit from Hardy right within the wall there.
Oh yeah, wow. A lot of goo. They're going
and here they go again. Yeah, they are speeding up the frequency of their assaults here, and you can see again. Yeah, there is a group sitting back. The 42nd PA mostly sitting a little bit. Let's see how this artillery barrage happens. And the USA a little slow to respond this time. They haven't even started moving out yet. Maybe they're hoping to avoid the worst of the barrage.
I might not even realize that they're coming.
Yeah, the guys back here, I think it's 9th Corps, have not even started moving out yet. They are going to be late to the party right now. The CSA is across the bridge already. They're across the bridge and the Union has not responded. They've dropped the ball here. They have not responded. The CSA has crossed the bridge fully. And that's real bad for the Union. If this gets into a fair fight now,
shell flag.
Yep. And if this gets into an actual more fair melee fight now, where the CSA is able to set their lines and return fire, that's real bad for the Union. And the Union now, I think, is going down on tickets.
I think CSA made a mistake. They sent a majority of their force to the right side of the bridge, straight into CB.
Yeah, they had momentum on the other side, on the embankment, but they've pushed the CB pretty well as well. And they still have a lot of guys streaming across, and the Union is disorganized. The Union thinks its charge is won, and there's a lot more Confederate guys still crossing the bridge. This is really bad for the USA right now. They need to get reformed. They can't retreat right now. But they are retreating. They do not realize how many CSA guys are crossing right now. Almost all of 42nd PA is crossing it. Maybe not all, but at least guys are getting across right now, and they're going to get in positions to start picking up tickets. CSA does hit taking losses just before the USA. But I think the USA is going to follow them very shortly here. These charges are definitely getting more perilous for the Union, though. Up at the spawn, I don't know if it's getting any kills up there. Or maybe if an intentional shot. Ah, I see. Yeah, look, up on the stairs here where the Union are coming down, there have been multiple artillery hits up here.
Yep.
You can see the wall's been destroyed, the goo there. So that's a good choke point for them, potentially. But I would say Union in general has enough time to spawn in on flags if they don't lose them. And I think the Union there, I think, had a slight letdown of communication in their Steam chat there. It looked like they just weren't ready for that last charge. They certainly did not get in position as quickly.
I didn't think they. I don't think they were quite expecting a second charge that quickly. Okay, they're going again. Here we go.
Yeah. Will the Union respond a little quicker this time? And I think what they are doing is they are sending this first wave. Sending a group round the pontoon bridge. Group is going to the pontoon bridge. 42nd PA flanking round at the pontoon bridge. Will Union spot them? Pontoon bridge. So they would send one group this way. Yep, 9th Corps is coming over to respond. The rest of the force is going over to the railroad bridge. We'll try and keep somewhat of an eye on both. And actually, CB is using their shots at the pontoon bridge. The majority of the CSA force is crossing the railroad bridge. Visionary force on the pontoon bridge may prove very effective in terms of getting across the railroad bridge, and the CSA are getting across the railroad bridge.
Wow, a lot of these Union guys on the right, on the Union right, are just hardy guys.
Yeah, and the CSA is definitely losing the pontoon bridge, but the Union is losing this fight on the railroad bridge right now. This is very, very dangerous. It might be too little too late right now. The rest of the Union needs to get up there because the CSA are officially across the bridge and in melee. And that is not good for the Union. The Union do manage to get the wipe. They do clear them off in the end. Still a few Rambos up there who are going to pick up a few out of lines. Jim Bob goes down out of line, but these CSA guys are also going to go down in skirmishing or out of line. There's only 2 of them left now. But wow, that diversionary force certainly had an impact in terms of the success rate of the railroad bridge charge. It's a question of whether it was worth it in terms of the casualties on the pontoon bridge. And actually, looking at the ticket marker, I would say the Union is behind now.
It's close.
It's very, very close, but close is good for the CSA. Close is good for the CSA. You know, if they go final push and the Union goes last stand at the same time, and they hope for some arty hits, that's going to be very good for them.
Yeah, I think that's the best case scenario.
And again, we're seeing all those guns to the south now look like they're aiming for the stairs. I'm seeing a lot of shells land at the stairs at this point.
We'll just land it.
They're not going to pick up a lot of casualties there because the Union obviously are running down in small groups down the stairs more so. And it looks to me like the CSA is maybe not going to try that charge again down the pontoon bridge. I'm actually seeing a group go from the pontoon bridge back up onto the road to head over to the railroad bridge right now. And again, this is one of those interesting maps where you hear a lot of artillery shells land, but you don't see a whole lot of them because I think a lot do deflect off the buildings, deflect off the road, and end up missing. But what the CSA needs to be cautious now of is slowing down at all. They've set a very good pace until now, and I think if they slow down now, it's going to be very dangerous for them because they're down to only 18 minutes. They are going to run out of time quickly here. Again, CSA starting to cross the bridge again, and they look like they are starting to send more guys down the left strut of the bridge towards the artillery position and the embankment rather than across that second section of bridge. This one, though, does not look like a two-wave charge in quite the same way. It looks like the whole group going at once to me. We'll see how that plays out. Here comes CB getting into position. Actually, quite a lot of them have shot already, which is interesting. I don't know why they fired so early. Oh, that was a big artillery hit on the 30th Ohio there. Here we go. What are they going to do? They all look like they're going straight towards the artillery position. They look like they've given up crossing the second narrow section of bridge, which I think is smart. That second section of bridge is really, really brutal. 9th Corps just now getting in position, so that's a whole second volley of shots. They will get into the CSA here. See the effect it's having on tickets. Union just took a big hit on tickets. I think they must have taken another artillery shell somewhere. And CSA again do make it into melee, and I do think they are gaining on the tickets right now. Union easily cleared that charge, but we do know the ticket balance is very, very heavy for the CSA here, for obvious reasons. I mean, the CSA has an extremely tough task on this. And we have one CSA Rambo here, Poma from the PB, sitting across the bridge, and this second lieutenant from the 17th SC doesn't see him. Oh, but they've seen him now. They've seen him now, and he's going to get killed out of line, unfortunately. I think he's in desertion over here. Yep, his day is going to end dying in desertion down at the bottom of that bridge. See CSA forming up again. The charges are having an impact on tickets, but it's not as fast as they would like, I think. The Union is going to go breaking probably in the next charge, and so will the CSA. But that's going to leave them with 15 minutes, and it looks like it's about 3 charges to go down a morale state right now. And 3 charges is quite a lot on this map. It takes, what, 2-3 minutes between each charge?
Yeah, it takes a second to get for CSA to get back their entire force, so they got to move quickly to get Union down to last stand.
See, is the Union artillery still trying to hit them at the end of the bridge, or are they waiting until they're on the bridge and firing down with canister?
I can't quite tell.
It does look like one of the guns has moved into a position where probably they're just shooting at the bridge. The other one is rolling back forwards right now and is aimed straight down the bridge. You can see Sevi and the IVB down here, still in this kind of bunker position under the railroad embankment. They're pretty safe down there, I would say. They don't lose a lot of casualties in there. CB likewise entrenched in under the railroad, also not taking a whole lot of tickets there. I don't know where the IX Corps went. I had seen them over here the rest of the game. Maybe they joined the IVB? No. I see the 9th Corps. There they are. They're back behind John Brown's house, behind the wall back here. I guess they must have taken a few artillery hits and decided to adjust.
Yep, Rev's CSA's moving across bridge right now.
Yep, here we go again. Artie's about to fire on them. You would think they're not ready. Actually, they're still rolling it and positioning it. I don't know if they're loaded. No, they are not loaded. He is not going to get that shot off in time. Artillery firing overhead, and looks like
a lot of kills with Rebel Artie.
No, but it looks like, again, the Union a little bit slow to get into position. IVB, a lot of them are still down in that bunker. CB are not fully positioned yet. 9th Corps not fully positioned yet. I think this is...
They're fully focusing on that Union right.
Yeah, which is where they're having a lot more luck. That was a CSA Artie shell that just killed a bunch of CSA guys. Friendly fire there. I think the Union might lose this charge. I think they were very disorganized to get into position there, and they've given the CSA too much of a chance to get shots off. And the CSA have now definitely taken a slight advantage on that ticket state. Morale states are very close still, but I would say Union will go down first here. Maybe not with the last few out of line tickets for the CSA here. There is a guy crouching here who no one has noticed. Private Yingling is just sitting here on the cannons. I don't know how no one's seen him or tried to kill him yet. He has just killed one of the artillerymen. He is sitting on a cannon, and still no one is killing him. Are you seeing this, Brutish? On the USA cannon, Private Yingling is just sitting there, reloading, crouching, and no one has noticed him. He's picked up 2 kills now. Hey, finally, Private Shark from Clark's Battery sees him and takes him down at long last. And there we go, Union hits breaking first. 12 minutes 45 seconds for the CSA to take this point off them, but the CSA is going to hit breaking very, very quickly here. The Union just has to be a little more organized with getting back in position than they were on that charge. They were a little slow that time.
Still got 4 guys tucked into this little shack on the bridge for CSA.
Yeah, which is, you know, is always a strange one to me. It's just people who think that they're going to have an impact on the next charge, but at the end of the day, they're going to be part of the exact same group running in and getting killed, and they really aren't going to pick up any tickets from here. They're not going to get any kills. USA now getting back in, CSA now getting back in position, and they are starting to cross. CSA going to be a little more prepared for them this time. They were very slow on the uptake last time. I think they need to have a bigger presence at the end of the bridge here because they are focusing all their forces down that way. They've realized that that little curve on the bridge is just a suicide mission. But again, Union very slow here. CB is still under the bridge. 9th Corps have not moved. IVB have not moved. The CSA are going to get across the bridge almost
CB
unopposed.
CB's firing on the pontoon.
But, you know, look at this. 30th Ohio only just moved out. 9th Corps has not fully moved out yet. IVB not fully moved out. I don't know what's going on here, but they have just allowed CSA to cross. Yeah, huge artillery hit. And the CSA have almost their entire team across the bridge here before the Union even gets in position.
Let's see if they can hold them.
And that, look at that effect on the USA morale. The USA morale is plummeting right now. Can the Union hold? The CSA is doing some serious damage to the Union tickets right now. And this is the last thing the Union would have wanted. They went through a quarter of a morale state there in one charge because, again, they were just very, very slow on the uptake. And there are still CSA guys up here getting some kills and getting some out-of-line kills too because the Union have spread out thinking that they've got the charge won. And more CSA are coming across still. Not a lot of them, but enough to pick up a kill here and there, and the USA cannot afford that right now.
Seems like one of CSA's flags fell into the river.
Yeah, which is always a funny one. They have said now that when flags fall out of bounds, they should respawn quickly, but this one is not. So the CSA is going to be without a flag.
Oh, it just did.
There we go. So hopefully one of the CSA guys is able to spawn in. Although, to be honest, I don't any reinforcement flag anyway. But that last charge was exactly what the CSA. They have a little under 10 minutes to go. The Union is almost halfway through breaking. 3 good charges and the Union will be in last stand. Maybe even 2. 2 charges may take it.
I could see this going CSA's way here.
I agree.
Might be the first river crossing I've seen CSA win in a very long time.
Yeah, and the artillery is finally zeroing into the right spot for CSA. They've got this spot right where the rail tracks sort of split on the embankment here, absolutely zeroed, and they keep hitting Union as they run up there. The Union, though, just have to be quicker getting up there. They let the CSA get too much of a presence on the other side of the bridge. I don't understand why the Union is not placing more of a force on this section of embankment here, looking straight down the bridge so they can get more tickets on the Union, on the CSA even. CSA crossing. Will the Union move in time this time? No movement yet. The CSA is almost across. They're exiting the bridge. 9th Corps and IVB have not moved. 30th Ohio have not moved. No one has moved yet. I don't know what's gone on in the Steam chat, but the communication seems to have totally broken down here. It seems like they're waiting for the CSA to get across with the hopes of getting more tickets with a single volley, but all it's doing is allowing them to get charged. They still haven't moved. 9th Corps and IVB are still in position. I do not know what the plan is here, but half of IVB and 9th Corps are still back here. And the Confederates have again taken a position across, and they are a quarter of the way through the Union tickets again.
Union might be winning these charges, but they are not winning them.
No, they're not winning in the...
They're holding the position, but they're not winning the kills.
No, they're not winning in the way they were at the start of the match, which was with brutal efficiency. Now they are winning with over half the team dying. And on a map like this, with tickets like this, and look at this, they've been told to pull back, and the charge isn't done yet. Look, the Union are pulling back as if the charge is complete, but there are still guys crossing the bridge. There's an officer coming across right now. The Union could well hit last stand within the next 2 minutes here, and that's going to give the CSA 5 minutes to work with to let their artillery bombard before charging again, or just to keep charging and doing as much damage as they can to the Union numbers so that they can get one final charge across.
I mean, at this point, if you're CSA, tickets really don't matter. I mean, you're going to hit final push, soon, and at that point, you just got to get across.
I agree, and I actually think, if anything, the CSA should keep charging. Even though it's going to get them to final push sooner, it will get Union to last stand sooner, and the second Union go last stand, they have to get tickets off them as fast as possible. Because even, let's be real, even half of the Union team being alive can hold these charges from the CSA. So they need to get as many kills on the Union in last stand as possible, as fast as possible. They cannot afford to slow it down with the hopes of being like, well, they're in last stand, we can just pick them off now. That's not going to be what it's how it's going to work out, I don't think.
Well, here's a thought. Do you think CSA might be waiting to hear a little bit, maybe let their arty do their work for them?
And a CSA officer and looks like an artilleryman or maybe an NCO in the shack here, picking up more and more out of lines as IVB guys keep running up there and getting killed out of line. There we go. There's another one for CJ. IVB's out of lines. The three of them that I've seen go over there, those three guys may cost Union the last stand state
CSA is halfway across the
Yeah,
bridge.
will the Union respond faster this time? It doesn't look like they are.
I think this might be it. I think if Union doesn't play this right, I think they can lose right here.
They're too late again. 9th Corps have not moved. 30th Ohio have not moved. IVB have moved now, so they're in position. But I think the rest of the team is going to be too late. Look at this. They're still sitting back here. It's 9th Corps, elements of 30th, still sitting back here. And now they're starting to move, but it's too little too late. They're going to be in last stand. And look, CSA is on the point. They're on the point.
They're capping.
This could be it. This could be it for the Union. They are responding now. They probably will win the charge, but they're going to be last stand by the time they do. There we go, last stand. And the CSA probably will not hit final push with this charge.
Probably not. I think if it doesn't end here, it's going to end very soon.
5:14, 5:10 to go.
Unless they hit final push here.
Even if they hit final push, I actually don't know if it shortens the time that much on this map. I think it might be about 5 minutes because the timer is normally enough for 2 charges. Union hold, but that was very costly for them, and I think they're gonna lose this now. How many guys did they get respawning? Not enough of a boost from the last stand respawns. It was less than half the team.
This is where arty comes into play, because every arty killed is another person out of the game.
And I don't know how many guys alive the Union still has right now. I would say from my eyes probably 100 or so, but that's, a fifth of their force down already. And the CSA should just keep doing what they're doing. Just charge. And if the Union is not going to respond properly, they're going to lose this game. They have to, on these next 2 charges, get in position earlier so that they can kill the CSA before getting in a melee. Because right now, from my eye, what's actually happening is that the CSA have been able to set their line on the end of the bridge, on the start of the embankment, by the time Union gets up there, and then are able to actually volley as if the Union are charging them rather than the other way around.
Now CSA is taking a lot of time to get settled here. I mean,
yeah, that could throw it away in return. It's very close here. It's fine margins, and the CSA is taking a while right now. Now they're starting, but with 3 minutes to go, they're going to have 1 full kit charge and maybe a nothing and go charge. The Union is holding a little further forwards right now.
Because a group significantly smaller could easily hold this charge.
But I could see Union losing this charge if they do not get up there earlier, and they're not. Right now, they're doing the same thing. And it's costing them right now. I don't think they're going to win this charge if they're not all in position for the CSA to leave the bridge. And the CSA has left the bridge. Look at this. They are charging, and the Union is not in position for them again. And I don't know if this is a communication issue or just certain units being a little slower. CSA hits final push. I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Union do not have the manpower to hold this now. The CSA is fully across the bridge. I think this is it. And just again, slow. It was very, very slow on responding, and it's interesting because they weren't at the start of the match. It looked like a decision that was made to respond to the charges later, and I think that really cost them. And this is going to be a CSA win on River Crossing of all maps, which is incredibly rare to say the least. It's certainly become more viable as of late. I've seen matches go a lot closer on this than I used to, but still very impressive nonetheless. Yeah, and CSA may even get a full team wipe on the Union here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Union flags I'm seeing left alive right now. Maybe 7. Union is running. These guys are just trying to stay alive. I'm not sure why at this point. There's not really a reason to. Who will be the last Union alive? There we go. They get kicked off the point, and that is it. So, very interesting match there from both teams. I thought the Union responded well in the first half, and they got actually a ticket lead early on. But then it just looked like a decision to play the defense a little bit differently, and I think that really cost them, and the CSA took full advantage, and I think the CSA did a great job of speeding up a little bit in terms of attacking. Brutish, your thoughts?
In all honesty, I think Union kind of fumbled the bag a little bit there at the end, just not communicating and not responding fast enough. I mean, when you let CSA get that amount across the bridge before you even beat them, you're just asking to lose.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. And, you can see, I mean, massive casualties, as always, on River Crossing. Over nearly 1,200 for the CSA, 900 for the Union. Big casualties, especially for a server that's not completely full, 250 players. But yeah, well played by both teams tonight. 1-1 overall, I believe, for the campaign. That means that the Union... well, actually, the campaign has changed slightly now, and I believe we're doing 2 matches on one night rather than doing a map match and a money match as we have previously. So yeah, one piece will get pushed back. The 17th SC, I believe it is, will get pushed back for the Union after losing River Crossing, while the Corn Brigade was able to hold off Pickett's Brigade on the other map. So well played to both teams, and yeah, we will catch you all later.